from executive session?
So moved.
Second.
All in
Okay.
favor?
Aye.
All right, Jim, if you don't mind, if we can have you address one
Yeah.
of the issues?
Based on our discussion here, I would move that the so ordered stipulation of settlement that was and prepared in Woolley Kelly versus Town of East Fishkill ZBA, and specifically of the proposed so ordered stipulation under paragraph 2 through 2A through 2E. I would ask that this board authorize our attorneys to sign said stipulation.
Is there a second?
Second.
Votes as follows. Jim?
Aye?
Aziz?
Aye.
Barbara?
Aye.
Tara?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Motion carries. Okay. We need to go back to Casal. Our item number 2, Appeal 3774, Casal, Catherine Casal, 1 Kennedy Boulevard, Hopewell Junction, requesting a 63-foot front line variance for an existing 10-foot by 14-foot shed, which is located in front of the rear line of the property pursuant to Sections 194-107 and Note number 11 of the zoning ordinance. Can somebody please offer the resolution?
No, I'll offer it. It's appeal number 3774. Applicant is Catherine Cassell, is requesting a 63-foot front line variance for an existing 10-foot by 14-foot shed, which is located in the front of the rear line of the property pursuant to Section 194-107 and Note number 11 of the zoning ordinance. The location of the property is at 1 Kennedy Boulevard, Hopewell Junction. Resolution offered by zoning board member Aziz Ahsan. Whereas the applicant has applied for a 63-foot front line variance for an existing 10-foot by 14-foot shed which is located in front of the rear line of the property. And whereas this action is a type 2 action under seeker and no further action is required, and whereas the legal notice was published in the Southern Dutchess News on February 24, 2016.
It had
January,
been published January
okay, on
27th.
January 27th,
20,
January,
26th,
28.
28?
The other one was 27.
The other one was the 27th.
Wednesday.
When does it come out? We'll go to 27.
January 27th,
Or 28th.
2016, and whereas the Zoning Board of Appeals held a public hearing on February 9th, 2016, and whereas the Zoning Board of Appeal finds that this is an application by Catherine Cassell, 1 Kennedy Boulevard, Hopewell Junction, requesting a 63-foot front line variance for an existing 10 feet by 14-foot shed, and which is located in front of the rear line of the property pursuant to Section 194-107 of the, and Note number 11 of the Town of East Fishkill zoning ordinance. This property is a corner lot located in the R1 residential district and consists of 1.01 acres. Section 194-107, accessory buildings provides in part as follows. B, standards. One building normally considered for utility use in conjunction with an existing residence for the storage of garden or lawn tools, etc., may be erected without a building permit if it meets the following requirements. 1, building dimension. No such building shall be larger than 100 square feet in floor area nor more than 10 feet in height at its highest point. Number 2, setback. Such building shall not be erected within 25 feet of a side or rear property line and must be located in the rear of the principal residence located on the same adjoining lots. Schedule of bulk regulations, Note number 11 provides as follows. On all parcels abutting the Taconic State Parkway or Interstate 84, including the AFO district, there shall be a minimum setback of 100 feet from the edge of the Taconic State Parkway or I-84 right-of-way to any structure, building, or parking area, which shall remain as a landscape buffer area. On all parcels abutting any state or county road outside the hamlet areas identified in Section 194-4.1, there shall be a minimum setback of 100 feet from the edge of the road pavement to any building. These requirements shall supersede any less restrictive yard or setback requirements set forth in other provisions of this code. A review of this application was held on January 14, 2016, and a public hearing was held on February 9, 2016. This board learned the following. 1, The applicant and her husband moved this 10-foot by 14-foot shed on this property from its previous location in Stormville, New York. 2, the applicant's lot is a corner lot with 2 front yards. The applicant's property is on County Road, Old Hopewell Road, requiring a 100 feet setback. See note number 11 above. Number 3, the applicant stated the shed was placed where it was easy and frequent access due to a medical disability of Mr. Cassell. The applicant submitted a letter from a doctor confirming Mr. Cassell's medical disability. The letter was read and returned by this board to the applicant. Number 4, the ability to place the shed in the rear yard is limited due to its location of the septic fields and the septic tank and topographical issues with the lot as it is not flat. 5, the shed is wide and highly visible because of the applicant has cleared some of the vegetation that was in this area. 6, a letter in support from a neighbor was also received and filed with this board. The neighbor's property abuts the rear of the Cassell's property, so it's not visually impacted by the current location of the shed. The applicant, number 7, the applicant stated that all things housed in the shed will be kept in the shed and not outside the shed. In reviewing the balancing test and 5-factor located in New York State Town Law Section 267-B3B, this board finds as follows. 1, an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood as the granting of this area variance would allow a high visibility wide shed to the visual impacts of all users of Old Hopewell Road. An alternative location on the other side of the applicant's driveway was suggested where it would not be impacting users of Old Hopewell Road, but would also be accessible to Mr. Cassell. Number 2, the benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant, even with the restriction of the corner lot, though a variance to put the shed in front of the rear line of the house would still be required. Number 3, the variance is substantial. The shed is wide and highly visible along a heavily traveled road, and the 63 feet front line setback puts the shed only 37 feet from Old Hopewell Road. Number 4, the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. The intention of the town's 100-foot setback was to preserve the vegetation screening along major roadways. Number 5, the difficulty is self-created as the applicant placed the shed on this property from a different address within the town with knowledge of the requirements for the placement of the sheds.
No, number 1,
Okay.
just,
Therefore, for all the reasons recited herein, this board hereby denies the application of Catherine Cassell requesting a 63-foot front line variance for the existing 10 feet by 14-foot shed, which is located in the front of the rear line of the applicant's property. The applicant is directed to remove the shed from its current location and any other location that would violate the required setbacks within 60 days. This is a type 2 action or seeker, and no further action is required. Be it further resolved that within 5 business days of the adoption of this resolution, the chair or other duly authorized member of the zoning board shall cause a copy of the resolution to be filed with the town clerk and a copy sent to the applicant owner.
is there a second?
Second.
Votes as follows. Jim?
Abstain?
Aziz?
Aye.
Tara?
Aye.
Barbara?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Okay, good, so, Pam, I'm gonna give you this, just note those changes that we made to it. All right, and so folks, we did agree at the beginning of the meeting to add one additional item to our agenda. We have an appeal from Michael Messina, 50 Kim Lane in Stormville, who came to us, received a 15-foot variance for a shed, for a garage, right?
Garage.
For a garage, yes, and since, based on a survey that we saw, it was an older survey, and when he went to have an as-built survey of the foundation that is now installed, he had a new survey done by a different surveyor, and there was a discrepancy found with the line, so it was not based on information he had, or the error was not based on any information that he presented to us, on purpose, certainly. He had a survey that showed a line in a wrong place. So the distance from the property, instead of being the expected 10 feet, is now 7.4 feet. So he needs an additional 3-foot variance. So with the board's permission, what I'd like to do is schedule him for a public hearing. He's in the middle of construction. We really don't want to see him delayed for no reason of his own for 2 months, for us to do a review next month and a public hearing the following month. So if the board agrees that we can schedule him for public hearing, we can deal with this in April.
Yeah, I'd make a motion to advertise for our next meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. With that
Motion
said,
to
do I have a
adjourn?
motion to adjourn? Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.